Good afternoon. We're just stopping by here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Nope, here's the keys. Take the thing. What is up, guys? I am Lincoln. This is Dread Captures. I need you to look at this immediately. A viewer from Georgia submitted his Trailcam footage, and it appears it's just a bear looking in a Trailcam. Or is it? Okay, the more I look at it, the more I see, but I barely noticed anything. But then I noticed the eyelashes, and I thought, very well manicured bear. Watched it again, I noticed the eyes look human-like, on down to what I thought was a snout. I wish we could see more of that. The ridges on its nose, right down there, like almost, I don't know, I was going to say scale-like, but maybe that's just what it looks like up close. The longer I look at it, the longer I can tell it's not a bear. But what is it? The guy that sent it in doesn't know. He wants us to figure it out. He did say in the mountainous part of Georgia that he lives that there is talk of Bigfoot. He's not much of a believer, but he has definitely heard rumblings of Bigfoot, Sasquatch, other type creatures in his area. Anyhow, I don't want to beat this clip over the head because it's not very long, but I want to know what you guys think. Yeah, this was a casual hunting photo until you notice what was staring back at you. Posted on X in May of this year, a hunter and his buddy were finishing up their trip when his friend snapped a picture of him walking up this hill. As they were going through all their photos, look in the background. Correct, those are eyeballs. And you can even see the silhouette of some type of figure. You know the online sleuths are on the case? And that's kind of where I live. I'm not saying it's the clearest glimpse of a living Bigfoot. I just want to know what the heck it is. For me, the figure kind of feels aware. Almost with the look of like, oh crap, the flash on this camera exposed me. And lest we forget, even if this isn't Bigfoot and it's a mountain lion or something else, like, that's scary too. We know a mountain lion will stalk you. We don't know what Bigfoot will do. Bigfoot might give you a hug. Anyhow, share your theories with me on this one. What are you doing if you hear a late night noise on the porch and you see this at your back door? Supposedly taken in a quiet neighborhood in Chicago. A man hears some ruckus on his porch and walks over and sees this thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this thing looks real to me. I don't know what it is, but the guy who covered this clip in one of his videos says that it was a head of a dog or something wolf-like, and I just can't quite get behind that. Honestly, if I'm really keeping it real, it looks like an ostrich. I mean, to me, it looks like it has a beak. Yeah, it's weird looking, and if it was at my back door, I'd be freaked out, but that leads me to my next point. If that was at my back door, I wouldn't whip out my phone. I don't know, the weird, unblinking face. I will say this, and let me know if you noticed it, but look at this set of eyes off to the right. That's a little creepy, unless that's the family dog, like in the background. Don't let him in. I don't know. Would be creepy if it was at my back door. Don't think it's real. Okay, this next clip is hysterical. Let me give you a little backstory. So a lady books for her kid's birthday, her 6-year-old daughter's birthday, I believe, a Bigfoot. Call the place up, Bigfoot will come. She's thinking, this is a great idea. It was not a great idea. I mean, it is utter chaos. The kids are everywhere. They're crying. All of them. I mean, oh, the lady did say that, like, she thought, oh, like, Bigfoot will be cute. Like, it's a girl Bigfoot. It comes with balloons and a hat and something else. Oh, a tutu. She's like, yeah, this would be great. She'll love it. I mean, I just thought this was hysterical. Let me give you the rundown of this photo before you try to decipher it. This is the wife texting her husband saying so-and-so saw a ghost walking down his hallway. He couldn't see the face, he told his wife, and she said she saw the same thing. The guy remembered he took some pics of his son in November and noticed something weird in the background. Well, this is the thing they think they saw. Yeah, what the heck is that? Now, the text message started talking about ghosts, and this was found on a paranormal page. However, I think we have a full-blown intruder. Like, that could very well be the ghost, but if you ever see something like that in one of your photos, you need to call 911 because someone's in your house. Now, some time has passed, and I believe everyone is okay from this story. If we're entertaining the paranormal side, what the heck is this? Because you gotta think, the dad is taking the pictures of the kid. If there were a man standing in his kitchen in his view of his camera, he would probably have seen him. At first glance, for me, it was hard to not see a man with a tucked-in shirt, a belt line, some slacks, and just a blurred-out face. I've looked at this a lot, so I could see how it might be someone turned and looking in a cabinet. A guy on Reddit said that is absolutely not the case. He lightened it, zoomed in, and the cabinet is actually shut, even though it kind of looks open. I'm curious to your thoughts. Is this someone that's looking at us? Are they facing away? Do we think it's a ghost? Is it an intruder? Let's talk about it in the comments. This one really has me intrigued. Years after it first appeared online, the creator behind a particular Bigfoot clip finally admitted the truth. And this was a famous Bigfoot clip. The so-called yellow-top Bigfoot. One of my favorites. Well, it was never real. Just a man in a suit, all part of a short film promotion staged with a costumed actor. When it made its rounds on YouTube in 2009, the video had a very different effect. Shot in the woods near Colorado's Rocky Mountain National Park, it showed a figure with pale yellow hair on its head moving through the woods. People went nuts. And like I said, this was famous. Some viewers immediately compared it to the legendary Patterson-Gimlin film. The creature was a little smaller in this one, and, walked with an awkward gait and had arm proportions much closer to a human's than the Patterson-Gimlin film. Nevertheless, for years, it stirred debate. My take is that even knowing that it's fake, it's just a good reminder how easily a simple, well-placed hoax can ignite curiosity. How do you guys feel about it? Does the fact this one was confirmed fake make you more skeptical of other sightings?
What the fuck was that?
Fish.
Go get your hat.
Normally, I think these are funny. Like, I think it's the barramundi that are in that river that are jumping all over and they're hitting people and everyone's laughing. This isn't funny. Oh, I mean, he gets absolutely rocked. Look at this.
What was that? What the fuck was that?
Fish.
Go get your hat.
I mean, poor guy. He doesn't look like he's in the mood either. I mean, he's bleeding. Props to him for actually taking this. You hear his wife or girlfriend, are you okay? No. No, honey, he's not okay.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. It looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
In 1996, a frantic 911 call from Washington's Kitsap Peninsula would leave police stunned. A local resident reported that something was crawling around his backyard late at night. The dispatcher pressed him for details. Was it a person or an animal? But the man really couldn't answer. He simply did not know. Suddenly, in the middle of the call, The panic erupted. The figure was back, standing nearly 7 feet tall in his yard. The man's voice cracks as he pushes for help.
So whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better... Karen, see up!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, and the guy is on foot. Just...
I don't know what... It's a big, real big person. That's all I can say.
Okay, but it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person, somebody really big. But he's all in black.
As the call went on, the man revealed this wasn't the first time. Just weeks earlier, his dog had been killed under mysterious circumstances. Reluctant to call the intruder a man, you can tell he's not sure if this is a human. Months later, author Ron Moorhead and famed Bigfoot hunter Peter Byrne tracked down the caller, who actually unveiled to him that this was his second report. In the first 911 call, he claimed his German Shepherd had been hurled 35 feet over a fence after chasing something into the dark.
My dog went flying through the air over the tree. I don't know how it did it. Okay. Damn it, I'm really confused. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence, and he was dead when she hit the ground. I didn't see any cars. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence.
My hunch? The guy's telling the truth. I don't know if he saw a creature smart enough to avoid leaving evidence, or if he has a Bigfoot located on his property. What do you think? Can you guys think of any other creature that could throw a dog 35 feet? Let's get to the comments on this one. I really need to hear what you guys think. In the forests of Ontario, a rare recording was captured. One that some say lets us hear the voices of Sasquatch themselves. According to the researchers, this audio was recorded after 7 months of persistence and avoiding invasive tactics, slowly building trust until a family of Sasquatch seemed willing to reveal themselves. The recording reveals several different sounds: guttural calls, deep throaty belches, rhythmic tree knocking, signatures often linked to Sasquatch encounters.
I'm in my tent. That is a Sasquatch.
Longtime researchers insist the variety of vocalizations, combined with the difficulty of obtaining such recordings, makes this clip one of the most compelling audio cases of all time. So, do you think we're hearing the voices of a hidden species deep in Ontario's forests? Or is this just clever mimicry? In one of the strangest clips to ever surface online, a Russian news story claimed to show the capture of a living Bigfoot. The footage shows a small cage, barely large enough for the figure trapped inside it. What's unsettling is that the creature appears to be humanoid in shape, about 3 feet tall, with long arms, and covered in a dark fur. Some have speculated that this isn't an adult creature at all, but most likely a baby Bigfoot. Standing in front of the cage is the man who claims to have captured it. According to a translated Russian article, the incident took place on December 28th. It reported that the military border control had detained a strange creature, roughly 3 feet tall, from deep in the forests of Russia. The grainy footage makes it difficult to identify what's pacing inside the cage. Some viewers suggest its humanoid form could mean it was a juvenile Bigfoot, while others argue it may have been an ape of some kind. Even though apes aren't native to Russia, of course, skeptics believe the entire scene was staged. And you know, my take? If this really were authentic, I'd expect far more international coverage. This should have drummed up a lot more attention. I guess it is worth noting that media control and restrictions in Russia may have limited how far the story spread, but still. The possibility that this was either a baby Bigfoot or simply an out-of-place primate keeps the debate alive today. Share what you believe down below. You ever flip through old photos and suddenly notice something you swear wasn't there before? That's exactly what happened to one young couple after a fall hike. What started as a way to get some exercise turned into something they can't explain, because in the background of one of those pictures, there's a figure watching. The hike itself was spur of the moment. It was nothing, just a quiet day in the woods, no real plan except to enjoy the trail and take some pictures along the way. Adam had brought a selfie stick with a small camera, and his girlfriend Carly carried her own. At some point, they started joking around, just snapping photos of each other. He'd aim the selfie stick at her, she'd crouch down and pretend to document the documenter. And the two of them laughed at how ridiculous it looked that they were the only two in the woods in there taking pictures of each other. But one particular photo from that sequence didn't feel like a joke at all. In it, the man is grinning into the camera, standing proudly on the muddy trail. But if you look past his shoulder just a little farther up the path, you'll see it. A figure. Just off the path, and we can't tell if he's coming or going. At first it looks like another hiker, but when they stared at it longer, they started to have some doubts. The blur around it wasn't the kind you'd expect from a shaky camera. It almost looked like the figure itself was blurry. But here's the part that sent chills through them. The couple swore they were alone on that trail. In fact, all day, they didn't see another single hiker. No one crossed their path. The couple had continued on their hike, and when they decided to leave, they knew they'd have to pass the area this picture was taken. Something about this photo really bothered Adam. Whatever was in the photo, he just had a bad feeling about. They eventually passed the spot where the photo was taken, briskly walking, trying to get to their vehicle. It was dark under the forest canopy. Flashlight in hand, they put a little pep in their step. And that's when they began to hear it. And feel it. Footsteps behind them, the feeling of being watched. Feet crunching on the leaves, twigs snapping. Each time they whipped around and shined the flashlight into the trees, it stopped. Only starting again as they continued. They locked eyes with each other, and Carly said, "Something is out here." And whatever it was, is keeping pace with them. When they got to the trailhead that led to the parking lot, they both took off sprinting. They made it to their vehicle, got in, locked the door, and got the heck out of there, both breathing a huge sigh of relief. They couldn't believe how shaken up they were about this thing that was following them. Skeptics will tell you it's nothing, that the couple forgot they passed another hiker. But I don't know. The couple insists that no one else was there. And to me, that leaves two chilling possibilities. One, what they captured was a spirit or apparition tied to that forest, something caught between worlds. Or two, they might have accidentally photographed something much more physical, something people in those woods have whispered about for years. A Bigfoot. If you take another look at the photo, proportions, the strange stance, this really could be a creature. I'd love to get your take on this one. On Christmas Eve 2010, a man set up a security camera, and weeks later, it may have captured Bigfoot slipping through the snow. YouTube user Big108 explained that it all started with strange footprints he discovered outside his home. Deep impressions in the snow, too large to be human, too spaced out for any known animal. Convinced they belonged to Bigfoot, he mounted a security camera to watch the area. Weeks later, the camera finally recorded something. In the grainy winter footage, a faint figure moves across the screen, walking from right to left, disappearing into the tree line. It doesn't linger, it doesn't return, just one brief shadowy moment caught forever on tape. Skeptics dismiss it as a shadow or just digital noise, but others quickly point out the timing. The prints came first, then the figure, and when the video is viewed full screen, you can clearly make out the upright stride that seems too deliberate to ignore. So was this nothing more than camera interference? Or was it a rare glimpse of Bigfoot or another creature? What started as a simple family drive through Saskatchewan turned into a roadside encounter they'll never forget. While passing through the town of Craven, a family spotted something unusual on a hill beside the road. At first, their eyes just caught the movement in the brush, but then they realized it was upright, walking, covered head to toe in dark hair. Shocked, they grabbed their camera and hit record. The footage shows a tall, bipedal figure striding calmly toward the tree line. Its neck short, arms long and swinging, features often linked to Sasquatch reports. Within seconds, the figure disappears into the bushes, leaving only this brief video behind. Many are saying this is just a person in a suit, pointing to the fact that it was close to a public road. I don't know about that. The creature's broad shoulders, its smooth gait. Saskatchewan, after all, has its own long history of Bigfoot sightings across its rural stretches. So, one of the clearest glimpses of Sasquatch caught in broad daylight? A costumed prankster? What did this family catch on camera? Across a frozen canyon, something black moved between the trees, and it didn't look human. This short but mysterious clip was uploaded online with little context. The poster only said it was filmed somewhere in Idaho, though the exact date and location remain unknown. In the footage, a dark figure strides steadily through the snow, weaving between the trees on the far side of the canyon. At first glance, it could just be a person. The proportions, the gait, the way it moves is different, not quite human. The clip is replayed with motion stabilization, and that's when we can see it a touch better. The figure is large, broad, and moves with deliberate heavy steps. It could just be a bundled up hiker, but many insist the size and stride suggest something much larger, something Idaho's remote wilderness has long been rumored to hide. In the dead of night, a retiree pointed his night vision scope into the woods. What he filmed may reveal who's been stalking his backyard. The footage was taken by Larry Surface, a retiree living on the edge of Wayne National Forest. Using his night scope mounted to his camera, he scanned his backyard under nothing but moonlight. In the recording, a tall, black figure emerges within the glowing scope. It moves upright, steady, its outline clear against the brush. Larry later compared the camera angle to his own height and estimated the figure to stand nearly 6 foot 10 inches. Larry explains that trail cameras and infrared beams often drive them away. Activity stopped for over a year after he set them up. Only when the devices were removed did the strange encounters resume. Skeptics aren't arguing that there's something in the footage, more so that the night vision distortion could exaggerate size. But Larry had a professional analyze the clip. He said, quote, "The proportions are unmistakable. Larry believes he's caught a genuine glimpse of the wild people that live in the Wayne National Forest. What say you guys?" On live television, viewers spotted something climbing Mexico's second highest peak. Something no one could explain. Located in central Mexico, Popocatépetl stands at over 17,000 feet, an extreme environment where few dare to climb. Yet, during a televised interview, several mysterious figures were seen scaling its slopes. The beings appear thin, brown, and unclothed, their silhouettes stark against the snow. Witnesses estimated their height at nearly 8.5 feet. The figures climbed with incredible ease, seemingly unaffected by the brutal altitude. Mexican authorities wouldn't originally speak about this. They claim that these are just climbers distorted by distance. Locals aren't buying it. They point out the conditions. Oxygen is thin, slopes are dangerous, and these beings have no visible gear on them. To top it off, the region is also notorious as a UFO hotspot, with decades of strange aerial sightings over the volcano. Many think the government is hiding whatever may be inhabiting the area. Two friends set out for a summer weekend of camping in the Utah mountains. What they brought back wasn't just fish or target practice. It was a video of something watching them. According to their account, the two men had been fishing, target shooting, and camping deep in the Utah backcountry when they startled something from the trees. As it moved, they scrambled to record. The video shows a large, brown-haired creature slowly striding through the woods. At one point, it appears to turn, looking directly toward the camera before fading deeper into the tree line. The size, the proportions, the steady, almost deliberate pace convinced them that this wasn't human. Even though the encounter matches dozens of reports of Bigfoot across the Wasatch and Uinta mountain ranges, skeptics say this could just be a camper or a hunter. There's no need to jump to conclusions. So, did these men just happen upon another camper in the backcountry? Or did they bring back one of Utah's clearest glimpses of Bigfoot? An instance like this guy is about to describe is one of the scariest things I can think of.
So I kept on finding food missing in my apartment that I knew I wasn't eating. I confronted my girlfriend who lives with me about it, and she claimed she wasn't eating it. So I decided I'm going to set up a video camera and I'm going to catch her. This is what I found.
Does anyone know where this footage is from? I mean, it's pretty good. I hope this makes it through the editing process, but YouTube might take it down since I'm not really adding any value or opinion on it. But I am curious if anyone knows where this footage is from. Check out this Bigfoot peering into this person's home. You can clearly make out a distinct figure. The head, the forehead, the nose, we can see the eyes blinking. Not to mention they are jet black and they're pretty creepy. I'm a little surprised that this guy is willing to get this close to this creature, even though they're separated by the house. Alright, now let's watch the next clip that gives us a little more detail on what actually happened.
So my wife and I, we bought 11 acres of land in Bailey, Colorado. We built a foundation of cinder block that is about 3 feet 6 inches above the ground. The land is mostly hard-packed dirt and large rock. I eventually moved a modular home on the foundation there. We lived off and on for 2 years while we got it ready for permanent residency, a permanent place to live. In August of 2017, we were finishing the interior of the back of the house, and I came into the living room and caught a whiff of just a very harsh odor in the room. I didn't know what it was. It smelled like rotting animal flesh, vomit, and excrement. I caught a glimpse of something moving outside the window from the corner of my eye. We've had bear visits pretty regularly, but they usually try to get under the house, not in it. But when I seen this figure by the window, I thought a bear had somehow climbed up to the window. I take a lot of wildlife pictures, and I ain't never seen a bear come up like this. We do get lots of animals that come real close to our house, like mule deer, elk. Haven't seen any mountain lion, but just some other small game. I have a few feral cats all over my property, and they already in mind that they hang out a lot anyway. I saw the top of the head, and that thing caught my attention real good. It moved closer, and I seen it's freaking huge, and it scared me because bear eyes aren't that large or far apart. I always have a camera handy to get a real good shot of the elk. I use a cheap Kodak Sport digital camera for taking pics, and for the most part, it makes fast action pictures and video. That thing was on the end of the table next to my recliner, approximately 6 feet from the window. When I pointed it at the window, the thing stopped and swayed and closed its eyes as if it wasn't child. You can't see me, but I'm shaking and trying to video at the same time. I moved back a step, and it slowly moved from one side of the window to the other. This was seriously about a 10-minute ordeal. I put it on a 1.5-inch card, which had to be downloaded on my computer. Anyhow, I didn't make any attempt to enter the house or run away. About 8 minutes in, my wife came into the room and asked me what I was doing. I told her there's something outside, and it ain't no bear. When she looked over my shoulder, she screamed, "What is that thing?" and ran back into the bedroom. I don't want to laugh because my wife was distraught over this. After I assured her everything was okay, she didn't care. She called the sheriff's department and they sent 3 deputies to check out the property. Of course, their conclusion was most likely a bear or other wildlife, until I showed them the playback. When they reviewed it, 2 of the 3 were impressed and the 3rd was like, it's a bear. Anyhow, I don't really know what to think of it all. We haven't seen hide nor hair of any creature like that since.
Gabby's coming back to the car. Gabby! 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 You're a bloody naughty lion, Gabby.
Pretty good clip here out of British Columbia. The photographer at the bottom of this hill says that she captured a North American Bigfoot. And I tell you what, it's something for sure. She goes on to explain that there are 10 different types of North American Bigfoot, and this would fall into the wild man version. And I'll be damned if that doesn't seem to check out. I mean, look at the thing's face. You can tell that it has a lot of human-like features. Even its facial hair. I say facial hair, but I don't think that's human. I mean, that stuff's growing in every which way. She went on to say that the creature was massive too. He glanced at her and then stood up and she pulled the camera down and took off. Anyhow, as always, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Alright, this next clip comes from out in Utah. It's a guy named Steve. He's basically being interviewed by Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. So I'm going to read the kind of their dialogue and just follow along, but it's a pretty good picture. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Hello. First off, I just want to say I really enjoy watching all of your videos and following your investigations. I have a picture from a trail camera I'd like you to look at. I have no idea what I captured. My trail camera is motion activated. I have it set up in an area at 9,300 feet of elevation, and not to mention a 1.2 mile hike in. So this is not in an easily accessible place. I honestly do not think it's a person messing with me. It was in February and still a lot of snow. My cam is wireless, so I get notifications as soon as it captures movement. I received a notification, so I looked at my app, and there was nothing in the picture. I figured a bird or something flew by. Then I got another notification, and there is something standing about 100 feet from my camera. I'm not sure what it is, but I've heard wood knocking up there before. This is in the US. The first picture I got the notification and there was nothing there. Notice the time on both pictures. The second picture, you might have to zoom in a little, but it's to the right of the picture. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch's response. It is humanoid shaped. Anything else you know about this? Steve. I don't know anything else. It just showed up on my cam and nothing else. Another thing I find weird is my camera didn't catch it entering or leaving. I have pics of deer and elk walking through this same area. The camera will normally take pictures as long as there is movement. It's bugged me ever since on what it could be. I normally hunt by myself, and I've heard some weird noises up there. Enough to where I've actually left the area for a couple of days. RMSO response. We own over 20 game cameras, and even some with the fastest trigger speeds. We can trigger the camera and walk out of frame before it takes a photo or starts the video. It may have walked back to the right just after this photo was snapped, and that's why it's not captured on camera again. Any estimate on height? Steve, yes, I actually stood in this approximate area and had the cam snap a picture. I wish I still had that picture, but I would say my head was about to its shoulder, and I'm 6 feet tall even. I appreciate you looking at this. I've stared at it for nearly a year and wondered what it is. I know we will never know, just wanted to get another set of eyes on it. Sounds like a good foot or more taller than you. How much thicker and wider is it than you? Steve, it was definitely thicker and wider, but not a whole lot. I'm 220 pounds. This is taken in Utah, Uinta National Forest on the Red Cloud Loop. RMSO. We have investigated several wintertime Bigfoot sightings right there. Seems the Bigfoot like to stay or travel in Dry Fork and Red Cloud during the winter. One of the sightings was when a truck driver nearly hit a 9-foot tall Bigfoot where Red Cloud comes out on the highway when you're heading to Flaming Gorge. He knew it was 9 feet tall or better because its head and face were level with him in his cab of his truck when he nearly hit it. Steve, oh my gosh. Where the truck driver almost hit one is where I turn in to go hunting. The camera was about 7 miles in, near that snow-covered dirt road. RMSO. This definitely isn't the 9-footer that people keep on spotting in the area. This one looks to be, according to your size estimate to you, over 7 feet tall. Of course, there isn't just one Bigfoot, there's got to be a breeding population. RMSO's closing statement. I hope you guys enjoyed this, taking a look at a Bigfoot sighting hotspot, and this crazy capture on a game camera in a Bigfoot sighting hotspot. It is just crazy timing, and I love how the subreddit is mildly infuriating. That's perfect for this. Like, yeah, now you might not want to eat your ice cream, unless you're one of my children. They'd definitely eat it, but you can't be too mad at it because it's so cool. This was a calm day of drone flying until this stepped out of the forest. A man in Maine was flying his drone over a remote lake hunting for a new fishing spot. He definitely wasn't hunting for this. That evening, while reviewing the footage, he spotted it. At the tree line, a tall, dark figure, up on 2 legs. To say he was shocked was an understatement. He rushed back out there at the crack of dawn the next day, took the drone up, but nothing. Not even a trace. He went to the area and looked around, no footprints, nothing. The footage quickly made its way online, believers calling it possible proof of Bigfoot in Maine's wilderness. Skeptics clapping back that it could just as easily be a man in a costume. Personally, I think the scenario is plausible either way. Either this guy caught an extraordinary camera capture of an incredible creature, or he and his buddy Jimmy had a couple of beers and said, hey, let's get you in a Bigfoot costume and put the drone up and put that bad boy online. So, if it was a genuine sighting, or they were just looking for attention, I'd say mission accomplished. At the start of COVID, a man took his family to the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. Admittedly, he and his family aren't really mountain people, but there wasn't much to do at this time. They were all bored at home and thought that the mountains could provide a little adventure. And boy, were they right.
Get in the house! Get in the house!
After telling his family to get in the house and stay safe, the man takes off after the creature. And this is where it gets stranger. You can tell the creature does not like being chased. It's a little frantic in the woods here. All of a sudden, it starts letting out these noises. The man keeps the camera rolling to catch what he can. But at the end of the day, we still don't have any answers. What do you think this guy caught in the Virginia woods? A young couple put a motion-activated camera in their home after some weird things had been happening around it. Well, your suspicions perhaps might be right. Goodness. What appears to be a small child has wandered into the frame. I'll speak for myself here, but I'd rather see an axe murderer than a child apparition. I mean, kid ghosts, man, they freak me out. Myself and the homeowners might get lucky though, because when they uploaded this to Reddit, like 70% of the comments were saying that this is just a bug. I mean, still putting the place up for sale. It's probably pretty obvious where this clip is going, as we see a doe in the foreground with a buck lurking in the background. As the doe leaves the screen, we see the male approach and check out the camera. He eventually disappears out of camera view, reappearing at the top right of the screen in the background. Pay close attention. He's locked in on something. There it is. He and another buck are battling. I watched this a few times, and it looks like our guy was able to run off the other potential mate. Our next video comes from Scott Carpenter, a systems administrator from Maryville, Tennessee, who has a passion for amateur Sasquatch research. One day, when he was leaving the feeding station, where researchers leave food to try to get a DNA sample or get the Sasquatch on a trail camera, he had a back trail camera filming from behind him, which he would review later when he got home. While reviewing the footage, Scott noticed a dark shape moving in the background. Upon closer inspection, he realized that it was not a Sasquatch, but something he had never seen before. A dog man. Despite the skepticism of critics, Scott was convinced that there was a living being in the footage. He said he could see its nostrils opening and closing with each breath. The sudden realization that he was right there. He was so close to this unknown creature. It was both terrifying and exciting. Even though he was a researcher and he loves cryptids of all sorts, he was a little scared for his safety. He was worried that he had gotten this beast on camera and the beast knew it. It actually took him several weeks to recover from the shock. And while many people don't believe Scott, he is adamant about what he saw. So much so that he carries a gun at all times now, and especially when he goes into the woods. This was Scott's first encounter with a dog man, and it opened his eyes to the reality of the dangers that come with researching the unknown. Sometimes, if you go looking, you might find something you don't like. However, it has also sparked his curiosity and made him want to learn more about this mysterious dog man. Let me know if any of you have had any dogman encounters. They are plentiful out in the west of the state I live in. Warning: the following video contains graphic content that may not be suitable for all audiences. If you are easily offended or disturbed, it is recommended that you do not watch this part. It's really just a dead whale carcass with amazing animals coming to pick off of it. Anyhow, check out this incredible game camera capture of wild coastal wolves, bears, and eagles feasting on a washed-up humpback whale carcass. This whale washed ashore on British Columbia's west coast. It's really cool to observe the fascinating scavenging process of these creatures. We can see a bear appears. He probably has first right of refusal. As he pulls at the whale, look at how small he is compared to the whale. He seems to get his fill and then he heads off. Quickly we see a wolf come in for a bite. Now, first of all, this wolf is beautiful. A healthy wolf, its face and neck with some darker browns and black in it. Wow, she's gorgeous. She pulls and nibbles before giving away to some bald eagles. The national bird and symbol of the United States of America, representing freedom, patriotism, and strength. The eagles get their fill of whale meat before flying off. Again, just an amazing look into the scavenging process and all of the benefits provided by the sad demise of the humpback whale. This next video might be one of my favorite ones that I've ever seen. A man was out hunting near Gladwater, Texas in 2020, and he heard the sounds of a distressed animal somewhere in the woods. As he followed the sounds, he came to an abandoned oil pit from the 1930s. In it laid a badly decomposing hog and a younger hog that was stuck, but still alive. The compassionate hunter decides to try to get him out with a rope, and quickly realized how dangerous this was going to be. The hunter couldn't risk falling into the oil pit himself, so he looked around and eventually grabbed an old tire to help shore up his footing. As he works to get him out, the pig is exhausted, on the verge of drowning in the thick oil. The hunter finds a stick and is trying to use some leverage to get him out. The hunter can be heard encouraging the hog, "Come on, buddy, help me out here," as the hunter refuses to give up. 30 long minutes have passed and the man has been working both sides of the oil pit trying to free this hog. He has just now finally gotten the hog to be able to move himself, just a little. They're both exhausted. And just as soon as the hog seems like he's about to be freed, he almost slips back deeper into the sludge. The man crawls around to the front and uses his bare hands to try to get the hog out. The oil has sat there for dozens of years and is thick and slimy. And wouldn't you know it, one final good push and the man is able to free the hog. You see, he almost actually falls back into the sludge, but eventually scampers off into the woods. I mean, what a crazy and incredible thing to stumble upon in the woods. I know that hog was grateful, and I hope he's able to make a full recovery and somehow get all of that oil off of himself. The hero hunter from Texas said, quote, "I decided that I have harvested many a hog, and since I have the chance to save one, I should. The rescue took me 40 minutes and was considerably dangerous because I was sinking along with the hog. I eventually freed the animal to both of our reliefs. However, I will say the rescue cost me my entire hunting season because it ruined my hunting clothes and gear. Unfortunately, I don't have the money to replace my clothes or gear, but if given the chance to do it again, I would." That's the spirit of a true outdoorsman. This is a sneaky good clip. Check this out. I mean, it's shaky as all get out, but look on the left side of the screen.
Stay centered for me, Matt.
I wish it was longer, but something about this feels real to me. I'm not sure if it's just because there seems to be a lot going on in this video, like the camera shaking, the water's rough, and then just off to the side there we got old Bigfoot. Like if they were going to film a hoax, they probably could have picked a different spot or easier conditions. Does anyone have any more information on this clip? Through all my years of sifting through Bigfoot and cryptic content, I have never seen this clip. In 2001, an IMAX crew captured the breathtaking migration of caribou across the Arctic. But nearly a decade later, sharp-eyed viewers spotted something the filmmakers didn't. A dark, towering figure moving with the herd. This takes place in some of the most remote terrain on Earth. The filmmakers reached this location only by helicopter, ready to film the massive caribou migration in stunning detail. But when the footage was revisited years later, a strange silhouette appeared in the background, pacing the herd. Given a caribou's height, this figure was massive, and yet it matched the animal's stride for stride. I mean, at full speed, caribou can run like 40 miles per hour, making it impossible for a human on foot to keep up. Some are saying that this is genuine Sasquatch evidence, the gliding, almost weightless movement matching what many eyewitnesses describe. Skeptics have suggested that it could be some type of dirt bike or ATV rider, but both of those vehicles would be nearly impossible to get to this location. Plus, the way the figure kind of briefly rises before ducking down and waves up, it doesn't really match how a rider would move. The Great North crew insists it wasn't one of them. Funny enough, the director of the documentary didn't have any idea this was going on until it hit the mainstream news. No, I'd never risk putting one of my people in front of a stampeding herd. Personally, I find this clip pretty hard to dismiss. The remoteness, the effortless gait. I mean, it's got all the hallmarks. So what do you think? Was Bigfoot captured out here in the Arctic wilderness? Is this somehow just an optical illusion? I don't know. Interested in your thoughts on this one. Hidden in the Alaskan wilderness of the 1930s, a prospector snapped what some call the earliest alien photo ever captured. One shot, one moment frozen in time. The man claimed he encountered a strange child-sized figure dressed in white, wandering miles from civilization. Armed with only his camera, he took off after it, chasing it through the trees, desperate to prove what he saw. He eventually gained ground and managed a single photograph before the figure vanished without a trace. Nearly a century later, his grandson enhanced the image with AI, revealing a 3-foot humanoid. Its right side is blurred as though it's cloaked in something unnatural. Skeptics are arguing that this is nothing, just that it's AI or someone threw an old film grain filter on some random image. But others believe this could also be evidence of a miniature Bigfoot, on top of the first alien visitor ever caught on camera, decades before Roswell. Personally, I love that the original uploader used an AI system to try to help uncover what was behind the grainy film. I think the strange cloaking blur makes this photo more than just a coincidence. I mean, to think this thing is almost 100 years old. I don't know, it feels like genuine proof of something. Something that is not from this world. Let's discuss this in the comments. Drop your thoughts below. In the wake of Harlan Ford's death, a forgotten reel of Super 8 film emerged. Footage some claim captures the Honey Island swamp monster in its own domain. Ford, a lifelong explorer of Louisiana's remote marshlands, had reportedly kept this film locked away for years. When it surfaced, the grainy, shaky images showed something moving among the cypress shadows. Something large, upright, and unlike any known animal. The clip quickly ignited fierce debate. Some researchers swore it was a once-in-a-lifetime glimpse into the creature's world. Others dismissed it outright, pointing to the blurred frames and limited quality as evidence it could be anything, or nothing at all. Skeptics argue the figure might have been just a man in waders or an elaborate hoax staged for thrills. But my gut tells me Ford truly captured something alive. Something that doesn't fit neatly into our catalog of swamp wildlife. If that's the case, then the Honey Island swamp monster might not just be legend, but more so history hiding in plain sight. I know we have some seasoned cryptid vets in this community, so what do we think about the Honey Island swamp monster? Real? Bigfoot? Hoax? Another animal? Another creature?
Why not?
Oh! Oh, Jay! Yes! Oh! Jay, are you okay? What happened? The raccoon might bite me.
Oh my. Now, if I'm going to armchair quarterback this one or look down on this guy from my ivory tower, I mean, what are you doing, dude? You threw your toddler on the ground. Now, I know that there are instances in life that, you know, you're sitting back, a situation happens saying, I would never do that. Well, I don't really know what I would do if I was bitten on the leg by a raccoon while I was holding my kid, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't throw him on the ground. I'm pretty sure. What I do know is, if that footage was taken on my Ring doorbell camera, it would never see the light of day. It would never see the light of day. You hear his wife say something like, is everything okay? No, it's not. Yeah. I wonder if they'll play that in divorce court. Probably. A lone hiker in Maine snapped a photo that some say could be the most compelling capture ever in Maine. While trekking through the wilderness, the hiker captured a massive jet black figure lurking behind a tree. The image shows a wide, hairy figure, much broader than any average human. Its dark coat sticks out like a sore thumb. Unfortunately, that also blocks us from seeing his face. There is accompanying video with this.
Something's been making a lot of noise behind my house, and it's pretty creepy. I'm gonna get out of here.
So I can't really make out how they fit together. Personally, to me, the still photo looks way bulkier, what my kids might jokingly refer to as a big back. The figure in the video is much more intriguing to me. So what say you guys? This doesn't feel like it's the same Sasquatch. A California homeowner's security cam may have just caught a mythical creature darting through their backyard. The clip is short, only a few seconds, but it shows a tiny figure sprinting across the yard in the late evening. I can't really tell if that's the shadow it cast against the back wall or if that's the figure. I mean, the thing can't be bigger than 2 feet tall. In Latin American folklore, this matches descriptions of a duende, a mischievous goblin-like being said to haunt forest, homes, and even gardens. Skeptics in the comments are arguing that this is probably just some small animal distorted by the way the sun is shining. I don't know, man. That looks like something running to me. And I ain't talking about a raccoon. So this next clip I found digging through my old Bigfoot honey hole. Through the faint voices, it sounds like it might be taken on the side of a road in Russia. It's covered in snow. You can see as the guy drives by, the creature moves off to the right side of the screen. I guess he double backs and tries to chase it. The footage is so grainy that you can't really tell. I mean, look, this could be his girlfriend for all I know. She said, "Let me out right here." And he was dumb enough to do it. That could explain why it looks like the creature's covered in hair. She might just be bundled up. Now, I really do think this is a legitimate sighting. Let me know your thoughts, though. I'll tell you this, if this is his girlfriend, I know one thing she's not gonna like, and that's him videotaping her, traipsing through the snow. Anyhow, I'd love to know if anyone knows more about this video. A couple thought they were staring at a fallen log, until Google told them otherwise. In July of 2021, while hiking the Lover's Lane Trail in Olympic National Park, the couple noticed a dark figure near the Solduke River. It wasn't moving, just standing there, blending in, but not quite. They watched for a bit, figured it was a log, and continued their hike. Bing, bang, boom, end of story, right? Not exactly. Months later, they randomly did a Google image search of that area. And what popped up? Reports of large humanoid figures spotted along that same trail. And down the rabbit hole they went. They don't know which way is up, so they need our help. Is this just a bizarre coincidence? Did they unknowingly witness a real Bigfoot?
This is an amazing capture here. Look at that move the hawk put on when he came to the fence. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch was sent this footage from a friend of theirs who was a Bigfoot enthusiast, and they immediately recognized the location. As the story goes, at around 5:30 p.m., a deer hunter and his son were on their way to town from deer camp. They happened to spot a mysterious figure dressed in head-to-toe brown, roughly 300 yards away. Now, this is in the middle of hunting season. And what caught their eye is that he didn't have on his blaze orange. So what was he doing out there? He could have easily been mistaken as an animal, especially in this popular hunting spot. The hunters zoomed in on the figure with their cell phone and recorded the footage and realized that this may not actually be a human. As they looked closer, what they originally thought to be brown clothing now may appear to be fur. After they received the footage, RMS decided to investigate the area the next day. And to their surprise, they found 3 other people already on the scene, trying to corroborate this Bigfoot sighting. 2 of the groups were in a truck communicating with walkie-talkies, and the others were out searching for footprints. RMS knew their suspicions were correct. Others had seen the footage and were out there looking as well. He actually pulled up to one of the trucks and asked, "Are y'all investigating a Bigfoot sighting?" The man said it was hilarious the shocked look he got. They felt relieved after witnessing the other investigators on site. He said you never know if the footage you receive might be a hoax, but these hunters genuinely did not know what they had caught on film. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch decided to join forces with the other investigators to search a well-known Bigfoot sighting hotspot. adjacent to where the footage was taken. They then expanded their search to other nearby Bigfoot sighting locations within a 20-mile radius of the filming location. Towards the end of the day, they stumbled upon 2 Bigfoot tracks near a creek, 2 miles away from their initial search area. The tracks measured 16 inches in length and 8 inches wide at the toes, tapering to 6 inches wide at the heel. This discovery added to their excitement, and they were intrigued in uncovering more about the figure and the footprints. Now, I don't know if those are Bigfoot prints or not, but the figure in the video actually looks like Bigfoot. Let me know what you guys think of this. Could this really be Bigfoot or just another well-orchestrated hoax? Check this one out. The keen vision of raptors enables them to fly quickly and strike with incredible precision. Given this, and having observed this behavior several times, I began to wonder which of the finches was the main target of the hawk. The hawk no doubt left with something to eat, but did it have to switch its focus mid-strike when the finch on the left tried to escape? This happened so fast that it's possible the left finch is actually in the hawk's grasp. Furthermore, the owner of the feeder and camera setup claims that the hawk caught 2 of the 3 finches in a single swoop. Very impressive. Since all I have is the video, I can only confirm that this was a successful hunt. Hawks are known for their exceptional eyesight and can spot rabbits from a mile away. So adjusting mid-flight and grabbing the next bird or snatching up both birds in one go is definitely within the realm of their capabilities. The picture hit social media and caused a minor frenzy in the southern United States. Trail camera footage from October 14th of 2022, taken in southern Louisiana, left a lot of people scratching their heads. In the picture, you can obviously see a big ball or a mound of hair, and honestly it may be just that. Or it could be something else. Many people think this trail camera captured a Sasquatch running, or shying away, hiding its face from the camera. Others think it's a bear, or just photoshopped. Some online viewers had some funny things to say about it. It could be a potential Ewok, a tumble pig, the hair from the shower drain, and one guy even said he's pretty sure that's his mother-in-law. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think it could be. To me, the footage doesn't show any definitive evidence, but maybe someone can make something out of it. I'd be curious if you have an idea. Incredible. It actually blows me away. Oftentimes in mating seasons, 2 bucks will spar with each other to attract a potential mate, and sometimes their antlers become positioned just right and they lock. I've shown cases of 2 bucks with their headgear interlocked before, and they have always had a happy ending. Well, this one is no different. Taking place in Kansas, a game warden has answered a call about the bucks being locked together. As he follows them deeper into the tree line, they stop at a stream. The officer is able to throw something over the 2 deer, and what he does next is incredible. Looks like something out of a movie. The warden draws his service pistol and snipes the antlers of the deer. Don't worry, he doesn't hit the deer. There wouldn't be a video if he did, I imagine. Instead, he shoots and is able to clip the deer's antlers and free them. Crazy. Of course, the shot scares both of the deer, so they jump. But if you look at the deer that leaves out of the right of your screen, you can see he's missing some antlers now. Hey, a small price to pay to keep on living. They'll grow back. This is pretty creepy footage. So the owner of the property, who says he's lived here for 15 years, he has never seen anything like this. A man named Robin Searcy only opens his gate when he needs to, closing it right back to keep his dogs from running through the neighborhood. He always shuts it. However, one morning he says an unexpected overnight visitor left it open. He awoke the next morning to see notifications on his phone that there was movement behind his house around 2 a.m. As he checks his camera, he was pretty startled. What he saw was a young girl coming onto his property in a nightgown. He had no idea what she could have been doing there. He thought his eyes might be playing tricks on him, but the next morning, he looked around and saw that his gate was left open. He zoomed in and looked at the footage every which way, but he didn't recognize her. He took the footage to some neighbors to see if they recognized the young girl, but no one did. They had never seen her before, and the direct neighbor to his right didn't catch her on his camera. Searcy thought he had a ghost on his hands. The fact that she's dressed that way makes me feel like something more sinister might be at play. Like she escaped from a kidnapper or something and is looking for help. I don't know. Searcy reached out to the local news station and they came out and did a special on it. Now, fast forward to about a week later. A woman shows up at the police station. Not a little girl, a woman. She came forward and said that the photo on the outdoor camera footage was her, and that her car had broken down, and she was looking for help. She didn't give any other details, but still a very surprising thing to wake up to. I'm sure Mr. Searcy feels a little better about this, but that's still a surprising thing to wake up to. This outdoor security cam shows a cat just cleaning itself in a bin. He's just relaxing, but the camera also catches something else creeping up on this cat. A bear comes into frame and takes a little sniff of the cat, and it looks like it lightly and gently caresses the cat's paw. Once the cat realizes this is a massive bear inches away, he bolts. It actually looks like it scares the bear more than the cat. The owner says the bear frequents this property, and that is one of the main reasons he got the outdoor camera. As we get toward the end of the clip, the cat returns the favor and runs the bear off. This is a wild one.
TikTok user WV Paranormal shared a series of bone-chilling clips in August of 2021, recorded during a seemingly normal family day out in the backyard. What was an ordinary day turned eerie when the family was out and about, playing and tending to their garden. As the clip rolls, we hear the mom call her kids in for a bath. Suddenly, she feels a strange sensation, as if she's being watched, and swiftly turns her camera toward a cluster of trees. Now brace yourself for what she captures. It might take a moment for you to spot it, but look carefully. There seems to be a figure lurking amongst the trees, seemingly watching the children playing. The following day, the mother has a chilling encounter with the figure yet again.
Oh my God, nobody is gonna ever believe this. All right, we're going back inside.
Amidst the sound of her baby crying, she decides it's time to head back indoors. The same towering, bizarre figure is now visibly standing right behind a shed. Its face appearing oddly featureless and gray. It peeks its head out. The family is left baffled but mostly disturbed. What is going on? Is this an intruder spying on her children? Or is this really some mysterious cryptid or creature or misidentified animal? Tell me what you guys would do in this situation, especially if you spotted someone creeping around your family from afar. Let me know. I know what mine would be. In the small town of Brooksville, nestled within the verdant heart of Florida, lived a man by the name of Earl Anderson. Earl was an experienced hunter, known for his patience and keen eye.
He had a reputation as a storyteller, sharing tales of his adventures through the sprawling Floridian wilderness. But on an oppressively humid day in July, Earl stumbled upon something that changed his stories forever, and perhaps the tales of this town itself. Late in the evening, after the sultry heat had begun to cool, Earl set out to check his trail cameras nestled deep in the Withlacoochee forest. As he hiked through the damp undergrowth, the chorus of cicadas was deafening. He felt a strange uneasiness creeping up his spine, a feeling he had never experienced in these familiar woods. Upon reaching his trail camera, he immediately noticed something amiss. The camera, usually facing the trail, was askew, pointing haphazardly into the brush. Curiosity piqued, Earl adjusted the camera and retrieved the memory card, anxious to see what had happened. Back at his modest cabin, Earl sat down at his aging desktop computer. He slipped the memory card into the slot, anticipation bubbling within as the images began to load. As he flipped through the pictures, he found the usual suspects: raccoons, deer, an occasional bobcat, which was cool. But then, the images took a turn for the unusual. An enormous figure, bipedal, covered in thick hair, appeared on the screen. It was muscular and broad-shouldered, with long arms and an almost human-like stature. Earl leaned in closer, eyes wide with disbelief. This was no ordinary creature. This was something else. Something he'd only ever heard about in hushed, half-joking conversations at the local bar. Could it be the skunk ape? Florida's very own version of Bigfoot? The final image was the clearest. The creature stared directly into the camera, its eyes reflecting an intelligent gleam. It almost seemed as if it was aware of the camera, hence its skewing. The realization struck Earl like a lightning bolt. He was the first to capture undeniable photographic evidence of the skunk ape. Earl couldn't keep this discovery to himself. He rushed into town, sharing his findings with anyone who would listen. He was met with skepticism. People dismissing Earl as a tall tale teller, finally succumbing to his own stories. But the local newspaper picked up the story, and soon word spread. Experts from around the state poured into Brooksville, all wanting a glimpse at Earl's photos. Some were skeptical, suggesting the image could be an unusually large bear or a clever hoax. However, others couldn't dismiss the clear humanoid features and the uncanny intelligence in the creature's eyes. Finally, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission got involved. After weeks of analysis, they couldn't deny the figure's resemblance to the descriptions of the mythical skunk ape. Though they couldn't conclusively identify the creature, they acknowledged the photos were indeed authentic and hadn't been tampered with. While not a definitive proof, Earl's photos sparked new interest and belief in the skunk ape. Though the doubters remained, Earl was content. He knew what he saw, knew what he had. His tale had a new chapter, one of discovery and wonder, and it was breathing new life into the legend of the Floridian skunk ape.
Have you guys seen this? What in the heck? Absolutely not. Nope. Rabbits twisted with horn-like growths jutting from their faces. In the quiet streets of Fort Collins, Colorado, residents are spotting something that looks like it stepped out of a nightmare. At first glance, they look like demons in fur. Locals have dubbed them Frankenstein bunnies, zombie rabbits, and worse. Photos online show the creatures lurking in yards, their grotesque shapes barely resembling the soft, harmless cottontails we expect to see. They look like little monsters. But these aren't monsters. They're infected with something real, something unsettling. A virus first discovered in the 1930s called shot papillomavirus. The disease forces bone-hard growths out of the skin, transforming rabbits into living illusions of legend. For centuries, sightings of creatures like these may have birthed one of North America's strangest myths, the jackalope. Wildlife officials insist the virus isn't dangerous to humans or pets. It spreads through fleas and ticks, flaring up in the summer heat. Most rabbits survive, unless, of course, the growths creep across their mouths or their eyes, slowly starving them to death. In time, the immune system can fight it off, and the horns vanish. Still, seeing a colony of them at dusk, shadows stretching across the ground, you can almost understand why folklore whispered of antlered hares haunting the frontier. Personally, I think this is one of those rare moments where science and myth collide, where a virus makes legends feel all too real. So tell me, are these rabbits proof that every myth has a kernel of truth? Or are they simply nature's cruel trick on an innocent animal? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. A strange photo from the forest near Mount St. Helens has left many asking, did someone capture the remains of a Bigfoot hand? The image surfaced in Washington, one of the nation's biggest hotspots for Sasquatch encounters. Most people say that it looks like a bear paw or a beaver's paw, but honestly, the more you look, the less sense it makes. And I mean, that doesn't look anything like a bear paw. Those look like fingers. I mean, they look almost manicured. They're like jointed in a way that seems eerily human. The guy Tyler Barnes that found this said that he saw this getting chewed on by a cougar. I'm surprised the cougar let old Tyler get his hands on this hand. I guess we can safely rule out bear, beaver, human. If this is real, authentic, it could be partial evidence of a large primate-like creature. Exactly the type long rumored to make their homes in Mount St. Helens. Sometimes you don't need to capture a full creature on film for a sighting to be terrifying. In this case from northern British Columbia, all it took was a hand. The footage comes from a CCTV camera mounted on a vacation property. The property manager had been dealing with strange disturbances for weeks. In an effort to get some answers, they put up cameras around the property. But it seems whatever was behind the mischief didn't appreciate being filmed. In the middle of the night, a hand suddenly reached up toward the lens. At first glance, it looked human. But on closer inspection, something about it was wrong, we'll say. The hand appeared small, almost childlike, but it only had 3 fingers. There were no signs of injury or mutilation. Instead, it looked like it was meant to be that way, that is the natural way of the hand. For a few seconds, the fingers groped around the camera before lunging forward and covering the lens completely. Moments later, the entire unit was ripped from its mount. No face, no body, just a fleeting glimpse of something unnatural. If this wasn't a prank, then whatever left those prints on the property was bold enough to destroy the camera rather than be seen. So what do you think? Was this just some kind of deformed human hand? A clever hoax? Genuine evidence of a cryptic caught in the act? Whatever it is, it freaks me out. I'd love your take. The guys here think they may have just caught a Bigfoot rummaging through the county landfill. One of the funny comments from this video someone wrote was like, "Why are these guys whispering?" Yeah, I guess it's hard to not get caught up in the moment. What is up, guys? The caribou clip from last week got a lot of attention, so at the end of this video, I uploaded some fresh footage, so I'll see you in the comments about this one. Everyone's saying it's a bicyclist. A couple was driving through the area when they spotted something strange in the trees. They began filming and turned the car around to investigate. The creature they captured on camera has a lot of people wondering if it's Bigfoot. What makes this one even more interesting, and I really do applaud them for this, is that the couple actually went back out in the daylight to try and recreate what they had seen.
Oh, look, right there, stop.
They did their best to line up the same spot and compare it, but reactions have been mixed. Some in the comments are skeptical, while others are convinced it's the real deal. I'm in a few Bigfoot forums myself, and I can tell you, many people in the community absolutely love this footage. And honestly, it's why I gave it a second shot. I'd hate to just glaze over something and have missed a really good sighting.
Oh, look, right there. Stop.
So, check this out. There's this story I came across from a Bigfoot researcher who was just online talking about some of his old expeditions. Not long after settling in, one of the guys on his team, Jim, spotted something on his iPad's thermal app, called everyone over, and on the screen was what looked like an upright figure moving in the trees. They're all like, hell yeah. They switched on their own thermals and started recording. To them, it was obvious it was humanoid in shape, like it was bent over, maybe eating berries, they thought. At one point, he even swore he could smell sulfur in the air, which only added to the excitement.
Like, oh my gosh. So we radio to the other teams, you guys need to get here now. We are watching a Bigfoot. I said, it looks like it's eating berries. And again, you can't see the whole thing. It's kind of in the bushes and it's kind of hunched over. But it's definitely humanoid in shape. So we're watching it. And at one point, I said, I can smell it. And it smelled like sulfur.
Then the figure began to step out of the woods, hunched, hobbling a little bit.
Because, you always wonder, if you ever come close to a Bigfoot, how are you going to react? Are you going to hit record on the camera? Are you going to run? Luckily, we held our ground. We hit record.
The group braced themselves, cameras rolling, only to realize that the Bigfoot was actually Jeff, one of their own teammates. Apparently, during the commotion when they first split up, Jeff had wandered a bit and ended up in the tree line, quietly watching what he thought was another Bigfoot on a ridge further away. He hears all the guys talking over the radio. He never spoke up because he assumed that they were looking at the same thing he was. No, Jeff, they're looking at you, bud. To make matters funnier, Jeff had a bad knee, so his hunched, limping walk going uphill made the silhouette look even more like a creature.
He's since apologized, and I said, don't worry about it. It's no big deal at all. It was actually very exciting, and it was like actually having a Bigfoot sighting almost, and seeing how we would react. So it was a good learning experience.
In the end, it was a false alarm, but the experience gave them a taste of what an actual Bigfoot sighting might feel like. And honestly, I'm impressed by these guys. They could have easily passed this off into the Bigfoot community as a legitimate sighting. So kudos to this guy for being honest about it. I look forward to the time that he does catch an actual Bigfoot on camera. Look at this. This isn't what you want to see walking down the stairs into your home. The dog in this clip is 17 years old. I mean, honestly, I don't expect much more from the dog. I mean, can you imagine walking out of your bedroom? You hear your dog bark. Maybe this is at midnight, 1 a.m. something, and there's a gigantic bear in your home. And I know this guy's probably just looking for something to eat. But bears, they're legit predators. It's not like, oh no, a mouse has gotten into my house. Most people would be losing their minds if a bear was in their space like this. Except for this girl. I mean, what is going on here? She's so engrossed in her phone. I mean, look, the bear goes up to her, sniffs her. The bear had to have made contact with her. I wonder, do you think she just thinks it's a dog? Maybe it's pitch black out there, right? She's looking at her phone. The phone is kind of shining back in her eyes. She can't see what's going on in the background and maybe thinks it's a dog, but she doesn't even startle. Like if it's that pitch black out and a dog walks up to me, I'm going to kind of be like, oh, hey, buddy. At first, I thought she might have been passed out, just hammered drunk, but I don't even think she can use that as an excuse. Captured on an indoor camera, the original uploader's roommate is convinced that this is her mother. And I gotta say, it's pretty creepy. The roommate's mother had only passed away a few weeks before this recording. Many viewers say that they can see glasses, and the woman that passed wore glasses. The craziest part to me is that as soon as you look at this, if you slow it down a little bit and really look, you can tell that it's the figure of a woman. Like an older woman walking out of that room, heading to what I presume is the kitchen. The uploader said that they are going to keep filming and will keep us posted. A man shared this to the Bigfoot subreddit, saying it took him longer than it should have to recognize what this was. He decided to put out some extra kibble for a murder of crows he's been training during this crazy cold snap out in the Pacific Northwest. Well, this is what he saw when he pulled up his trail cam footage. Just his 15-year-old cat enjoying some kibble. The man thinks it's the coolest pic he's ever taken, and I'll have to take his word for it. YouTuber Freddie Z set out in the woods with a friend one night, hoping to capture footage of insects and nocturnal creatures for his channel. The plan seemed innocent enough. Document the creepy crawlies that come out when the sun goes down. Boom, post them online. Just as Freddie began filming the few insects they had managed to find, a branch snapping in the dark. The camera swung upward toward the sound, its light cutting through the trees, and that's when it appeared. A hulking figure, half hidden, peering out from behind the trunk. The shape resembled something out of legend. A wolf-like creature standing upright watching them. Startled, the two bolted from the scene, their voices trembling as they argued over what they'd just seen. Was it a wolf? Was it a man? Or something in between? The channel Ola Bible began recording after hearing unsettling noises echoing from the trees. Camera in hand, he ventured out, determined to find the source. There, crouched low, was a strange figure. At first it seemed almost hidden, until the YouTuber's voice startled it. The creature whipped its head around, its eyes glowing unnaturally in the camera's light. Slowing the footage down, you can see a humanoid shape with smooth, hairless skin and a dome-shaped head. Even more disturbing, it looked like the creature was hunched over something on the ground, possibly feeding. Startled and panicked, Ola Bible turned and bolted, the video cutting off in the chaos. Viewers were quick to draw comparisons. Some people said it's an alien, but the majority pointed out the similarities to the rake. What do we think this could be? This footage has always creeped me out. Genuine sighting, or just the product of low-quality footage and imagination? A man was chatting with friends through his webcam, laughing and talking as he normally would. Behind him, a dark doorway loomed quietly in the background, seemingly unremarkable at first. But only a few seconds into the call, something strange happened. A small, crouched figure appeared in the doorway. Blurry and hard to define, the shape leaned forward as if peeking into the room, its presence almost hidden in the shadows. One of the man's friends watching through the webcam was the first to notice, quickly pointing it out. Startled, the man turned to look, only to see nothing there. In that instant, the figure had vanished. I mean, the grainy footage makes it impossible to say for certain what was captured. I mean, for all we know, this could have just been a blurred out image of his little brother. But we don't hear him say anything, call anyone's name. He looks a little alarmed. How did this figure slip back into the hallway unseen? Where did it go? It's like it disappeared into thin air altogether. And there's something about the way that that thing crouches and looks in, like he's watching this guy. What do we think is in this guy's home? The footage begins as the men, filming casually, notice a pair of glowing eyes peering through the branches. The creature itself is mostly hidden in the darkness, its gaze fixed on them as they scramble to keep the camera steady. Fear ripples through their voices as they whisper and shout over one another, clearly shaken by what they're seeing. But the real shock comes when the creature suddenly moves. Some who've seen the footage believe this is evidence of a Bigfoot, but I'm not so sure. Others argue it looks more like a skinwalker or even a djinn. The low resolution makes it difficult to say for sure, but the glowing eyes and sudden burst of speed give the impression of something beyond ordinary wildlife. I don't know if this was just curiosity. It kind of felt like a warning. Alright, so the Great North Bigfoot footage. After all the comments, I had to go back and rewatch it. And I absolutely see the two heads. And there were some other comments about there being like a family of them up on the hillside. I don't know if that's this black section up there. I'll try to zoom in on it. Or if you see it, drop it in the comments. I swear, you guys are so good at picking up these like peripheral creatures or images. Okay, so back to the Bigfoot that this video was highlighting. I want to ask the naysayer something. If this is a person on a bike, we see what looks like two figures, so does that mean the guy they're on a two-seater? Yeah, I just went ahead and brought my two-seater bike out here to film the caribou migration. See if anybody wants to ride with me on the back of it. Reminds me of when I was a teenager. If you didn't have pegs on your bike and you wanted to ride your girlfriend, you either rode her on the front or let her sit on the seat and you pedaled. Maybe that's what's going on. If there are any younger generations on here listening to this, they're probably like, pegs? Pedal your bike? What's this boomer talking about? Our bikes are electric. I'm not bitter. I'm really just busting chops, but I do have to say it doesn't really move like a bike rider would. There looks like there's two people. It's going exceptionally fast. Now I could, and I say this really just to bring it into the discussion, I could see this being a bear. Just at the speed that it's moving. And there are parts of the running that look natural, like, oh, okay, yeah, that could be. I need a little explanation on what appears to be two heads, because even when the bear's running, its back is rounded. At the end of the day, I'm open to any ideas. One of my favorite parts of this clip is that the director of the documentary had no idea that his footage had become famous in the Bigfoot cryptid space. Like, I don't think he found out until, when asked, he was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't think he even found out till a decade later that people were talking about it. Of course, that doesn't guarantee anything, but to me, it lends a little credibility to it, which, meaning like, this wasn't premeditated. The director didn't know, which means to me, likely the crew didn't know. Anyhow, love you guys. Give me all the theories. Like and subscribe. Share with a friend. I hope you enjoyed today's overall video. I'll see you this weekend. Actually, I'll see you in the comments.